Krishna. Yeah, Vishnupriya, you can start the prayers.
Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjarashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurum Sriyuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahananvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण रघुनाथान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पाञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण माता जी।
Hare Krishna. So, we have finished Krishna Kada. So, now we have to start a new session, new series. So, I was planning to start discuss about Prabhupada from today. But somehow tomorrow's program got advanced to today, and today happened to be Ekadashi. So it just occurred to me, why don't I tell you what Ekadashi is? We have been saying Ekadashi is a good day, and we have to chant, we have to do various things and all that. So we should know why we are doing what we are doing. We should always have clear-cut idea of anything that we are doing. Then only we can do it in a proper way. In a proper way means really wholeheartedly in the righteous way. So it's very important we understand what we are doing. Okay. So, Ekadasi. So, what is that one thing we should do to get Krishna Bhakti? For just answers, put them in chat box. Don't mute. What is that one thing we have to do Krishna Bhakti? Yeah, can somebody answer? Is there anything that we have to do? Chanting, excellent. Faith on Krishna. Okay, that's also nice. That also nice answer. Okay, 1 minute. 1 minute. Yeah. So one thing is chanting. Good. So it is not one thing that we have to do. The first thing we have to do is do Harinamam. That is nothing but chanting, right? The second thing is what we have to do is fasting on Ekadasi. Okay? Fasting on Ekadasi. This Harinamam and fasting on Ekadasi, these two are like father and mother. So it is very important that the parents are together. See, if you see in our house, what is that we observe? Anything that decision is taken, anything that is done, a father and mother together, they take the decision, they do things like that. So, Harinamam is one thing what we have to do to get bhakti, and fasting is the other thing. Both are like parents, and the result is a child, and the child is nothing but bhakti. So, it's very important we do Harinamam and bhakti. See, another important thing is bhakti can never be given, it has to be earned. We have been talking about this many times, saying that bhakti is the only thing which Krishna just does not give like that, because we have discussed about the reason also. Because when there is a real bhakta, Krishna becomes his slave, Krishna becomes his servant. It is not only Krishna, any demigods also, they become the servants of their devotees. So, because nobody would like to become the servant of somebody else unless we are compelled. So, that is the reason why normally this Maya acts on us and makes sure that we get away from bhakti. The other day, last Saturday, Sahitya asked me a doubt, saying, "Why does Shiva give this kind of blessings to these people? And then again, why create problem?" I have answered her, but the same night I was just sitting and thinking, did I give a proper answer to Sahiti? Then the proper answer came to my mind. Then the answer that has come is, see, we have just now the answer I have told. Bhakti, once somebody has a real bhakti, somebody is a real devotee and prays to God, it can be either to Krishna or to the demigods. That god, that demigod becomes a slave of that devotee. And so, once you are a slave of somebody, we have no choice. Our master says, "Do this." Whether you like it or you don't like it, you do it. So that way, even in the case of Rakshasa, Lord Shiva has no choice. And why all these people go to Lord Shiva is because Lord Shiva gets melted fast and gives the boons faster. So that should have been my answer to Sahiti. So once they are their devotees, they have no choice and they have to give, and they become their servants. That is one thing. That is the reason why Maya is always trying to take us away from bhakti, and then trying tempting us from lot of things. So how to stop this? How to control all this? We take the shelter of jnanam, dhyanam, and yoga. That's what we are trying to do in these classes. Jnanam. By learning all this, we are trying to get knowledge. And then by doing meditation, by doing chanting, we are doing dhyana, and similarly yoga. We know what yoga is. See, these are all again we come to the concept of father and mother. These three are like father, they are the male, and bhakti is the female. So, in order to the mother is not always attached to the father. She always likes to be close to the father. So, so in order to this this these three are like father, and this bhakti is like mother. Once they are together, that means once the jnanam, dhyanam, yoga is along with bhakti, then Maya cannot disturb. That means if the both parents are together on a single word, nobody can come and disturb the family. That way, nobody can disturb them. Okay? And Bhaktivinoda Thakur is also a great saint. He says, he also calls this Ekadasi as Madhava Tidhi. Madhava Tidhi. And also calls it as Bhakti Janani. That means this is the day when the Bhakti can be born. And here Ekadasi is like a mother. And this Bhakti is like a daughter in the womb of the mother. Ekadasi is the mother, and the baby is called Bhakti. When we do Ekadasi, that means when we worship Ekadasi, when we follow Ekadasi, the baby comes out of the stomach. That is, the Bhakti is born. Ekadasi, as we said, is called Madhavatidi. That means, Thidi means a good time, an auspicious time. That is Madhava, good time. That means it becomes very auspicious because we are getting close to Madhava. Madhava is none other than Krishna. Okay, and it is also known as Harivasam. Hari is none other than Krishna. Vasam means resides. That means that is the day when Krishna recites. Hmm? Okay, then Radhanath Maharaj, he is the one of the main disciples of Prabhupada. So he says on Ekadasi day our stomach fasts, but our ego feasts. That means we enjoy the Ekadasi. Why do we enjoy the Ekadasi? We enjoy Ekadasi because we do lot of devotional services that day. Okay, Ekadasi. Let us take the meaning of Ekadasi. Ekadasi, the external meaning, what we say is, what is Ekadasi? Ekadasi is a day when we have to do fasting and when we have to be away from grains and beans. And that is the 11th day of the month. And the inner meaning, if you take the exact meaning, the meaning is Ekadasi. Eka means 1. Dasa means 10. That means it is the 11th day after waxing and waning that of the moon. That means after Amavasya day and after Paurnami day, or after the no moon day and after the full moon day, Ekadasi is the 11th day. Uh, that is called Krishna. The 11th day after Paurnima, full moon day, is called Krishna Paksham, and 11th day after Amavasya, no moon day, is called Sukla Paksham. Okay. And okay, now I have a small question. How many Ekadasis do we have every month? Just put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. How many Ekadasis? Ekadasis. One. How many times does no moon day come? Amavasya. How many Amavasyas come a month? Every month there is one Amavasya. And after Amavasya, after 15 days, we get a full moon day, Paurnami. That means 15 days. That means after Amavasya, after 11 days is Ekadasi. That means we get one Ekadasi. Then comes the no moon day. After that, we get one more Ekadasi. Okay? 11th day. That means how many Ekadasis are there? Yes, a lot of people said 2, right? That is 2 Ekadasis. You are all chanting on Ekadasis. The day Ekadasi come, I feel Amma, again Ekadasi has come, again I have to go on fasting, again I have to do chanting. So I know very well how many Ekadasis come every month. So every month there are 2 Ekadasis. Okay, 30 days a month, no? 28 days. That's what it is. So, and so how many Ekadasis come every year? Every month there are 2. So how many will come every year? This answer is coming correctly. Nice. So 2 into 12 is 12 Ekadasis we get every year. Okay, right. So every 15 days we get one Ekadasi. 11th day after Paurnima or full moon day, and 11th day after the Amavasya, no moon day, is the Ekadasi. Okay. Ekadasi. What are we supposed to do on Ekadasi? Ekadasa. See, Ekadasa. Dasa. Here, what is that we are supposed to do on this? Eka plus dasa. That is, here, this day, we have to control our 5 knowledge acquiring senses and 5 our working senses. And the next is the dasa is 10. We talked about it now. Dasa is 10, Eka is 1. What are those 5 senses which we have to control on Ekadasi? That is, we have to control our 5 knowledge acquiring senses and 5 working senses. What are these 5 knowledge acquiring senses? We all know what they are. Knowledge acquiring. How do we get knowledge? We see and get knowledge. We hear and get knowledge. We talk and get knowledge. We walk and get knowledge. We work and get knowledge. That means we have 5 knowledge acquiring senses. Those 5 things, we have to keep them in control. Okay, that means do things less, as simple as that. Normal things, what we normally do, we have to do those things less. And 5 working senses. we know what are the working senses. With the same sense organs, whatever we do, these are the working senses. And the 11th one, the Eka, one is mind, and we have to keep our mind under control. So on Ekadasi, we have to keep the 5 knowledge acquiring senses and the 5 working senses and our mind under control. This is called upavasam. That means we have to do upavasam with all these 11 senses. Normally, when we say upavasam, what do we mean? Upavasam means not eating food. It is just not eating food. We have to control ourselves from all these 11 senses. That is what we have to do on Ekadasi. Okay, and then do what? Something we have to do. We are controlling all this. What we have to do is we have to put all this in the Krishna conscious. See, when we want to stop something, our mind naturally goes on to that only. Your mother says, if suppose something is given to you and says, don't open it, your mind is always there only, right? Your mind will be there only. There is no way we can control that mind. So the best way to control the mind is don't think about it. Don't think about it is an impossible task. So if we don't want to think about it, we have to think about something else. If you want to think about something else, we have to think something else better than this, right? So only when we get a better taste, like I like a sweet. When I like a sweet, when I'm not supposed to eat that sweet, if mother says don't eat that sweet, your mind will always go to that sweet only. So what is that your mind has to do? Your mother has to give you another sweet which is tastier than this sweet. You got the point, no? You understood, no? So we have to do something which is more interesting than what we are doing something. So what is that more interesting, more attractive, more knowledgeable is nothing but we have to spend our time in Krishna consciousness. Simple. So once we do that, automatically all the senses will come onto our control. So, okay, we have little come to control. And to do that, why we are, that means we have to control our tongue. And another reason why we control our tongue is the moment when we start eating more, what will happen? We will fall asleep. Simple. In your exams, does your mother, normal days, your mother says eat little more. But in your exams, your mother won't force you to eat more. She will make you eat number of times, but she will not force you to eat more. Why? Because if you eat more, you sleep more. So what we have to do that day is we should not eat minimum. If you cannot do that, then we can spend all our mind on Krishna consciousness. Every day is a Krishna day in case we can remember him all days. But we are human beings. We have our material issues. We have to go to school. We have to study. We have to write exams. People like us have to work and things like that. So we cannot spend. So at least on this Ekadasi, we have to work towards Krishna conscious. That means 14 days we spend in Ugra Karma, and one day every 15 days we have to spend in Haridoshanam. That means remembering Hari. Yeah. So here there are some rules to be followed on Ekadasi. These rules should not be followed for the sake of following. Like if you say if you don't follow these rules, you will get papam. If you follow, what will happen? We will follow them as a ritual. We should never do it anything as a ritual. We should do it. We should understand the meaning behind and then do. If you do that way, then it becomes spiritual. Okay, anything, even in the class, this is simple. Even in the class, if you by heart a question, once after the exam is written, you just write there and come, and next day if you ask, you won't remember the answer. But if you understand the concept and write the exam, you will remember the question, that subject lifelong. Similarly, here also, whenever you do anything spiritually, you understand it and do, then it becomes a real spiritual habit. So we are also, all of us are educated, and you children are very enthusiastic children. And so you would definitely would like to know what it is. And mm, here it does not mean that not we are fasting, we are very feeling sleepy, and then just fast and sleep. No, you should not do that. In fact, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, when all his devotees, he was the one who propagated lot of distribution of books and preaching. When his students were just sleeping, he said, I don't mind you eating also, but you have to do your regular works regularly. So we should never stop any of the works on because we are fasting. And here, what we have to do that day is we have to count, we have to recount, and we have to account. What is that we have to count? We have to count our malas. All of you are doing it. We have to recount. We have to recount means how many times you have to down again we have to do an account. That means we are writing, Krishna is writing our account there. So this girl has done so many malas, she's nice, so our account is being written there. And the whole why Krishna is writing and why are we interested in the writing there? Because that is the only thing which we can take along with us. I think all of you must have heard about the story of Alexander. Okay, when Alexander, all of you must have, all of you know who is Alexander. He invaded India, did lot of conquering. He wanted to be the king of the world, and he finally, when he went back, he fell sick, and doctors could not rescue, and he died. When he died, when he knew that he was dying, you know what he has done? He said, "When you are carrying my coffin, from the coffin, you put my empty hands out like this. You put my hands like this outside the coffin." And he said, let my doctors carry my coffin. Why? Normally, doctors won't carry the coffin, but his doctors have carried because he is a king and doctors follow. Because just before dying, he realized that while going back, whole life, my life, I have spent in conquering countries. And finally, when I am leaving this world, I am going empty handed. I am not taking anything with me. He wanted to show to the world that while leaving the body, we are not taking anything with us. And why did he ask the doctors to carry him? He wanted to show even a king, the doctors cannot save him once the life is over. That is the reason why he said, while taking my coffin, put my hands outside. This has to be a big king. What is the use? When he was dying, he realized, what is the use? No use. So, what is that purifies us, and what is that comes with us is Harinamam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That is the only thing that takes us with us. Rupa Goswami has given 64 links for bhakti. Rupa Goswamis, who are all this, you will understand slowly later. There are 6 great Goswamis. They were devotees of Bhakti Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he has given 64 limbs of bhakti. And he said, and bhakti is also one of the limbs. And he said, Harinamam is one of the limb. And if you do this, you get bhakti. And that is enough. You need not follow the other 63. Why? Because the other 63 also in turn takes us to bhakti only. So just do that. That is enough. Okay. Mm. And also in Bhagavad Gita, we all studied in Bhagavad Gita 18.65, Man manabhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyati satyante pratijane priyosime. All of you know this. Krishna says, always remember me, become my devotee, Always remember me, you will reach me. That's what he said. And also, he also said, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Nothing, you need not do much. Just put your heart and mind not to me and do. Okay? So now, okay, this is just introduction. I want to tell you, there are, first of all, we should get convinced about Ekadasi. Okay? Let us try to convince ourselves. There are three ways of convincing ourselves. There is, I'll give you various reasons why, what is the importance of Ekadasi. So all of us know that Ayurveda is also a medicine which was followed by our ancestors in the olden days. All the what do you call this, all these problems which are being cured, the diseases which are not able, doctors were cured now, those days Ayurvedic doctors used to clear. That Ayurveda is also a full-fledged medicine. If you just go into Ayurvedic books, what is said is, they even, it's here in our allopathy, what they do is, there is a problem, they give a medicine. They don't try to cure the root cause of the problem. But in Ayurvedam, they try to clear the root cause of the problem. Why this problem has come is what they try to do. So, in Ayurvedam scriptures, it is written that a uh, it is written that a meat eater should fast for 1 month from sunrise to sunset every year. Be very clear here. See, even we think that all these Ekadasi and other things are Hindu religion. But here we should understand one thing. In the Ayurvedic, it is written that a meat eater should fast for 1 month from morning till evening every month. Are we, all of you, do you know if anybody is doing this? All of you know, we all know. What is this Ramzan month? Mostly Muslims are meat eaters. So they follow this. So there is nothing uh, new here. It is it's all written. So it's very clearly written. This fasting should be done by whom and how. Okay, and for vegetarians, how it should be done. So for vegetarians, how it should be done is, once in every 15 days, we should do nirjal. That means not for us. Don't worry. I'm only telling you the theory. It doesn't mean that you have to do all that. Please, I request all of you, you're all small children. Don't pressurize your parents, or don't say that I'm going to do. Whatever can be done should be done. Whatever, we should never force ourselves. And based on the circumstantial situations, we should follow. Okay, a very weak child wants to do fasting is not correct. We have some exams, we want to do fasting is not correct. And there are, for everything, the situation should guide us. Okay, so the best way of fasting Ekadasi says that we have to go on nirjal. That means no water should be taken on that day. That is called nirjal. That is the highest level. The next level is Neerjal. That means just take water. Okay? Don't take anything but take water. That's okay. The next level is take water and juices. The next level is take fruits. Okay, fruits and milk can be taken. The next level is you can take food prepared from certain, there are some Ekadasi foods. Sabudana is one, you can take with that. And the worst, and which we should not do, is don't eat grains. No fasting. No fasting is something wrong. Okay? But again, I'm telling you, there are exemptions for everything. Okay? Don't force anything on you, or don't force anything on your parents. Okay? Now, Patanjali Yoga Sutra says, don't do full fasting. As, see here, our scripture says do full fasting. But again, Patanjali Yoga Sutra says don't do full fasting, as our digestive system juices are formed, acids are formed, and acidity will be developed. So drink little water. Okay? And so the acids will get dissolved and go. Hmm? Okay. Mm, and all of you, many of you are from Satasloka Pandita. So you know Ambarish Maharaj. That is Sloka 96, 97, 98, 99, if I remember right. He is a great devotee. He used to do Ekadasi very seriously. So then once Durvasa Muni wanted to test him. When Durvas Muni wanted to test him, what Durvas Muni said is, and every fasting, how do we do fasting? On Ekadasi day, from morning sunrise to next day morning. So from the previous night to this night is 24 hours, and to the next day morning is another 12 hours. That is 36 hours is what we do. After 36 hours, there is a time called Parana time. In that time, we should break our fast. With what should we fast? Break. I have given different levels of fasting. So, whatever we have done, we should go to the higher level. That means lower level. That means a person who went on Nirjal can take water, who is on water will take fruits, if fruits will take food, and Sabudana will take food. That way it goes. Okay, and this Patanjali Yoga Sutra and all this, I think a lot of time is going. So we'll go to the next point. I'll skip all this. Okay, so so next, why no grains and beans? Okay, now we are coming to the scientific reasoning of all this. Why no grains and beans? Now, we all in our Satasloka slokas, we have studied that moon is the one who gives taste and water to the vegetables and the green vegetables. Did all of you learn that? All of you learned. So all of you know about it. And how many of you have seen oceans? See oceans. Okay, many of you have seen. If we see normally always there are tides in the ocean. That means water keeps coming up tide. At least in the movies you must have seen oceans. So we always see tides coming onto the shore. If you go and they are not very dangerous, we can always walk into the sea to some extent. We enjoy and come back. But when it comes to Ekadasi, that means from the 10th day, that is Dasami to Dwadasi, the 10th day, the 11th day, and the 12th day. See, from here you have to understand very clearly. These 3 days, the tides are very strong. Like that means, see, if you go to the seashore will be slightly slopy. You can see different marks on the seashore. See, normal days, if the seashore is like this, suppose every day the water comes up till this, and on these 3 days the water comes up to this. That means there is a gravitational force which pulls it up. That means the water has high tide on these 3 days. So, okay, that's fine with the sea. Then why we should not eat is what we have to understand. Grains and beans, they have a very unique quality. They retain water. Human body. Can somebody tell me how much water is there in every human body? Can somebody answer? Roughly? Yeah, put it in chat. Put it in chat. Human body, how much water? Yes. 70, yes, 70%. Very good. Excellent. 70, 70, 70. Human body has 70% water in the human body. So, so what we have studied, because the ocean is open there, we are able to see the effect of moon on the water. So, will their similar not effect be on the human body also? So, on human body also, the same effect will be there. Okay. So, what do we do? Why are we asked to take water on the day? Why we can take water is the water. If we just on empty stomach we take water, immediately the water is flushed off. It won't be retained in the body. We stay with the 70% water what we have. But the grains and beans have a special quality of retaining water. When they are retaining water, what happens is the water levels in our body goes up and there is a big havoc in the body. So there will be a lot of disturbance. And if you see, I don't know how many of you heard, normally the people with mental disturbance, they get more disturbed on Amavasya and Purnami. Why? This the scientifically this is the reason. Because of the water in the body, lot of turbulence goes in the body, which a normal person can take, and which a person with mental person cannot take. That is why, and also doctor says maximum diseases gets aggravated on Ekadasi state. Okay. Mm, fruits also. Okay, next question you will be asking is fruits. So I have a lot of water. Why are you asking us to take water? These fruits, water, whatever we take, even though they have water, they'll be flushed off immediately because the digestion is very easy. So this is the reason why we are not supposed to take grains on Ekadasi. I don't suggest you people to go on Nirjal or other things, but if possible, you may avoid grains on that Ekadasi. You can take dry fruits, you can take fruits, you can take milk, you can take sabudana. If you just go onto the net, you will see a lot of full-fledged food which can be taken on Ekadasi. So it's health-wise, it's very good to go on Ekadasi. And now we are coming to the most important point, the scientific reason why we should not take, why Ekadasi is important. Did all of you hear about DNA? All of you know about DNA. That DNA is what carries. We all say, I am like my father, I am like my mother, I am like my great grandfather. From where did that information come into us? Our great grandfather's information also comes to us. How is that information being carried? Hmm? Okay. Okay. Well, how is that? So, delation. What is delation? Okay, lecture. Okay, right. So, what happens is this DNA is what carries the information from our body, from our ancestors to us, and from us to our children. So this DNA is what carries. And we devotees are very proud. We say Krishna's creation is very great. There is nothing that is waste in Krishna's creation. Will all of you agree to it? Every creation of Krishna is useful. There is nothing that is going waste in Krishna's waste. And these scientists keep on doing some research, and finally they found something. What did they find? They found that there is something in DNA which is not doing anything. So when there is something which is not doing anything, which is not carrying, the purpose of DNA is to carry information. So that part of the DNA is not carrying any information. So the moment they found that, scientists are very happy. Your Krishna is useless. He made a DNA which has something, and they called it as junk DNA. Why? Because it is useless. They called it as junk. So there is a junk DNA which has no work. So your Krishna is not God. He has no powers. But the the research doesn't stop there, no? So as the research went on, what was found was, see, when we are born so small, in our mother we started at this or even smaller and grew, and now we are this big, and we are going to be still bigger, and one day we are going to die. How are we growing bigger? By the division of the cells. All of you agree to this? We are all growing. We are all growing because of the division of cells. That means one cell will break into two, two will break into four, four will break into eight. So previously we were thinking that this cell division is a permanent process and it keeps on growing. And what the scientists have found was that every time the cell breaks into two, a small portion of the DNA is lost. Okay, every time you have to listen very carefully, you have to understand very carefully. This is very important. Here, this is where our scriptures can be established. This is the point on which a scientist got Nobel Prize. Okay, so understand. So every time the cell breaks into two, a small portion of the DNA is lost. So what happens? Say I have a big ball like this, and which there is a small portion here. Every time I break it into two, I take, if that small portion is also broken into two, the small portion keeps continuing. A small portion of the junk DNA is being thrown. So finally, when it splits into 40 to 80 times, the junk DNA is totally gone. That means there is no junk DNA. When the junk DNA is not there, the moment the junk DNA is not there, the cell cannot multiply anymore. If the cell cannot multiply anymore, what will happen? That is the end of it. We die. So only as long as this junk DNA is there, we survive. Okay? And also the cell see the beauty in Krishna's creation. The cell has it be like every shoelace has a casing at the end. All of you know about it. That why is that casing there? It prevents the shoelace not to split like this. So even the DNA is bonded at the ends with a casing. Okay, but slowly as it breaks, so the DNA is lost. And once the fusion is over, once the junk DNA is lost, no more fusion can be done. Not fusion, split can be done, and then it is gone. Okay, so now the scientists got the clue. What did they get? That means when the junk DNA is over, we are dying. So all our scientists, what do they want to do? They want us to live forever. What are the scientists finding out? What they do, they live more. Now we are living for 100. Let us try and live for 200 years. Is this not what our scientists are researching? So what they are doing is we have to stop the loss of this junk DNA. Then we can delay our death. Okay? Then we can delay our death. So how to do it? When will the cell break happen more? Only when we eat more. More means more than required. Again, be careful. From tomorrow, don't tell your mother, I want to live longer, I'm not going to eat. No, we have to eat what is required. If you eat more, there will be more cells generated. There will be more cells generated. If more cells are generated means more breaking is done. Okay, you are understanding? It's very sensitive, important topic. So try to understand. You people can understand, I know. So what they taught is, so we have to stop this. If you want to stop this, how do we stop? Don't eat. Simple. If you don't eat, no more bifurcation, no more split of cells, and no death. But how can we survive without eating? The cells, we require food, no? So they did an experiment with 15 students where they stopped giving them food. They could realize that the cell breaking has reduced, but how long can they survive like that? Once left, again they started eating, and again the same process. So they continued their research, and as the research continued, what they found out is the greatest thing. If you do this fasting once in 36 days, it is as good as, that is the point where we can control the loss of losing of, splitting of cells and control the junk DNA loss. That is what is Ekadashi. So the great research of the scientist is already there in our scriptures in the name of Ekadashi. And for this research, one Japanese scientist got Nobel Prize for 2009, which every Indian knows. All Indians knows that Ekadashi has to be done. It is good for health. But what is the problem is we are not scientifically told, we are only told spiritually. So we take it as a meaningless thing, and we did not stop. And one more thing, the scientists continued their research and found one more great invention. We are not supposed to do 4 things. What are those 4 things? Can you people type? We are not supposed to do 4 things. What are they? Gambling, correct. Relation, okay. Next, illicit relation. Meat eating, excellent. Meat eating, excellent. Illicit sex, correct. and alcohol. We are not supposed to do these four things. And when there's intoxication, very good. And the scientists have found that the breaking of cells is more in people those who do this four. Now you understood why Bhagavad Gita Krishna said don't do all these four. Clear? See, there is so much of scientific reasoning behind what Krishna says. Okay? So if you do all these four, the DNA, the cell breaking is more, and then we age fast. A healthy person with a healthy habit, just look at him. When we look at people with healthy habits, there is a lot of glow in the face and a healthy feeling. Whereas the people with all these four habits, they have a sick look. That means they are aging faster. They will die faster. Simple. This is the secret behind Ekadashi. Okay? Okay. So, same results come in 36 hours fast. So, mm, and this Ekadashi can be done from everybody who are between 8 and 80. So, all of us can do. But again, I'm telling, don't force anything. Do what is comfortable to you. Anything we do, we have to slowly increase and slowly get habituated. So, we have to be careful. Okay, the same thing is said in Padma Puranam also, that this is the reason why the Ekadashi should be done. Okay, we went to the Ayurvedic reasoning, we finished the scientific reason. Now last point, we'll go to the spiritual reasoning. Okay, we'll go to the spiritual reasoning. So, once there is a Rishi called uh, Jaimini Rishi, if I'm correct. He asked Vyasudev, all of you know who is Vyasudev. He asked Vasudev, what do you mean by Ekadasi? Why it should be done? And what will happen if I don't do Ekadasi? Then Vyasudev has given the spiritual answer. When Vishnu has done his creation, he made it complete in all sense, no? So he created one person called Papa Purusha. That means a person who is going to punish the people who are doing papam. He is the personification of sin. If you just look at him, you will be clearly seen that he is a person who is punishing the sin. And he is a very sincere devotee of Vishnu. And so what he was doing is he was doing his he was punishing all the people, those who are doing sins very severely. Like killing of Brahmins is one punishment, killing of a child in the womb is another punishment, and having illicit sex is one more punishment, and things like that. They have very severe punishments, and they were all being punished in Yamaloka. And the punishments were so severe that the people who were undergoing punishment, the souls, they were crying very badly. One day Vishnu happened to visit Yamaloka and he heard the sounds. When he heard the sounds, Vishnu is a kind-hearted, Vishnu and Krishna are no different. So they are all very kind-hearted. So what will happen to Krishna when he hears somebody crying? Automatically his heart will melt. Okay, his heart melted. When there was so much of compassion in his heart, from the compassion, from the love, from the sympathetic feeling, one lady has come out. And then that lady has come out. And then Vishnu asks her, who are you? She says, I'm your servant. Okay, servant. And then she is named as Ekadashi. Why? Eka means she says, I am your only servant. Eka, one. Dasi, Ekadasi. So she is named as a servant who is supposed to do service to Vishnu. She says, what is my work? I have come here to hearing your compassionate heart on crying of these people. Now tell me what I have to do. Then Vishnu says, see, these people are crying so badly, I am not able to hear. Just give them some relief. So that Ekadasi, very powerful Mata, she goes to them and she tells them that you do Harinamam. If you are always in the memory of remembering Harinamam, you will be relieved of all your sins and you will go back to Goloka. Finally, they were relieved. Finally, we got a solution. So all of them started doing chanting. When all of them started doing chanting, all of them went back to Goloka. Now the problem has come to Papa Purusha. Now Papa Purusha came to Vishnu and asked, okay, Swami, all these people have gone off, and whoever are coming here also are saying Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. They're doing it so seriously, and they are also going back to Goloka. Now, what is my work? Then Vishnu said, you have no work here, you can go. Then that man said, where do I go? The total creation is yours. If the total creation is yours, where do I go? That this, where do I go? Then he says, this Ekadasi is more active on Ekadasi day. So on the other days, you be in the Puloka. Then this man asks, on Ekadasi day, where do I go? Then he says, on Ekadasi day, you go on to beans and grains. Okay? So on Ekadasi day, this Papa Purusha goes into beans and grains. So when he goes there, so what happens if we take beans and grains on Ekadasi, then the Papa Purusha gets into us. Okay, this is one spiritual answer. Okay. So we should follow Ekadasi to the extent what we can follow. So I think now, and the most important thing in the beginning, what we have discussed is just it is not that we should not eat. We should spend all our time in remembering Krishna. It can be chanting. These 2 hours you are hearing to this class. This is also goes into your account as remembering Krishna. I have prepared for this class for few hours. That means I am also that few hours I am in devotion of Krishna. That way, do something or other, but spend time in devotion of Krishna. That is what is important. Okay. Hmm? And also that so what we should do is on Ekadasi it should be fasted. On the next day during the Parana time, we should break fasting with whatever we have not taken on the previous day, and then we can continue with our regular things. But on Ekadasi day, we should do chanting of holy name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, right. So there are we studied that there are 24 Ekadasis. Okay, 24 Ekadasis. Every Ekadasi has got a different name and a different story for every Ekadasi. We are not going into all that. We are going to the most important Ekadasi, that is called Nirjala Ekadasi. Actually, this is for elders, not you people. For you people, it may not be very comfortable. Okay, so Bhima, all of you know Pandavas. We studied about Pandavas little bit. All of you know Pandavas. The middle person is Bhima, and Bhima is a very strong person, and he eats lot. His mother also knows that Bhima eats lot. So whenever whatever food is available to them, what his mother used to do is normally any mother gives equally to everybody, but for Bhima it won't be enough. So whatever food is there, his mother used to make it into 2 parts, and one part she used to give to Bhima, the other part all the 4 children, and she used to take. Bhima used to eat so much, and he is also that strong. So And every Ekadasi, all the other four brothers are going on fasting. Draupadi Mata is going on fasting. Kunti Mata is going on fasting. All are going on fasting. But Bhima is not able to do because he cannot control himself from his senses. So one day he met Vyasa Muni, Vyasa Maharshi. Then he said, Vyasa Maharshi, please tell me something. How do I get, see, all this, my brothers and mother and wife, they are doing the Ekadasi, I am not doing. So, whatever sins they are washing away, I am not able to do. So, now what do I do? Give me a solution. Then Vyasa Maharshi said, there is one Ekadasi in every year which is called Nirjala Ekadasi. That day, if you do fasting nirjala, if you go on fasting and spend your time in harinamam, in devotional service, then it is as good as doing ekadasi all the 24 months, 24 ekadasis. This is the solution that was given to Bhima. And from then, Bhima followed Nirjala Ekadasi. Even though it is quite difficult for him, he followed Nirjala Ekadasi and got the benefit of doing all 24 months. Hmm? And Bhima also said this Kali Yuga is a yuga of quarrels where all these Vedas are destroyed and no rules are known, because those days at least some rules are known. We don't know, we really don't know what is good, what is bad. So we will be doing lot of sins. How do we get out of it? Is what is told to Bhima is you follow Ekadasi. So what I say is, for you people, following Ekadasi is difficult, but try to eat satvika food, avoid grains and beans, and spend as much time as possible in Krishna devotion. Krishna devotion can be anything. It can be drawing a painting of Krishna. It can be writing a story of Krishna. It can be chanting. It can be hearing. It can be anything. Okay, these are the benefits of getting Ekadasi. Okay, so if you follow Ekadasi, we will go nearer to Krishna, and then all we become, all our karma will get nullified, and we become pure. It clears all the sins, whatever we are doing. So, this is something about Ekadasi. So, here I close about Ekadasi. Okay, so now are you all clear about Ekadasi? Hmm? So, any doubts? Anybody has any doubts on this Ekadasi? Yes, Amma says, you're clear, Siri. Any doubts? Just raise your hand. I will unmute and then ask. Any doubts on Ekadasi? No doubts. Yes, Mataji. Anuradha Mataji, you have a doubt? 1 minute, Mataji. I'll unmute you. Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, you are saying level 1, level 2, that thing, no? Like, so first we have to go from that level 1, level 2, no.
No, whatever we can practice. If we can
Yes.
directly start with Nirjan, excellent. At least I
I
cannot.
tried, actually, Mataji, I tried many times, but every time what happened, that acidity become very bad and then ended up with a severe headache and vomiting, all those things. So it was very hard. So we will go from sabudana or fruits and then we'll go step by step,
You
right?
can take milk also, Mataji. Milk also is good. Milk, there's no, only the major restriction is on grains and beans. No rice,
Okay.
no wheat, no grains. So even that sabudana khichdi, what we make normally in, we put little grains, that also avoid. Whereas groundnuts can be taken. So you can go with
Okay.
sabudana. You can take curd. You can take milk. So
Okay.
slowly it can be reduced. The best way is,
Okay.
Mataji, put a serious effort. I know people who cannot stay without food for half an hour delay, but they do nittil. I really want. I cannot do nittil, but they do. I really wonder, and they do chanting, and they doing nittil. They do 108 times chanting. That means throughout the day they are saying Harinama loudly. So when we do, yeah, I talk here for 1 hour and then take water 3 times. But they do. So that's
Okay, Mataji.
Krishna's blessings. The moment we put our mind, He'll show a way to it. It'll
Sure,
have to go slow.
sure.
You can,
Yes, Mataji.
yeah.
We'll follow, definitely. Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any doubt? No doubt. So how many of you are going to do Ekadasi fasting and how many are going to do Ekadasi chanting? All of you are doing Ekadasi chanting, I know. All of you are going to do. Divya, you have a doubt, Amma? Yeah, Divya, you are unmuted. I have unmuted you, Divya.
No, Mataji, actually it was pressed by mistake.
By mistake, huh? Okay, Amma. Okay. Anybody, any doubt? So are you clear about Ekadasi concepts? 3 concepts. One is Ayurvedic. Second one is that is medicinal. We need not call it medicinal. Also, even the allopathy doctors say that many diseases start on Amavasya Purnami, and also they start or on Ekadasi, and also they get aggravated on these days. So that is medicinal and Ayurvedic and scientific and devotional, spiritual. And today morning, Mataji has put a story in the Mora story. That also actually I thought of telling, but Mataji has put there. So I have not covered that. You can read that story in the group. Okay? Right. Shall we close now? Right. Hare Krishna. I'm ending it.